Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my second Mission Impossible movie review. This has been really fun for me to do, to watch all these movies. I've been writing down a lot of notes, getting the scores down, and I am ready to review MI2. So let's get right into it. We're gonna need that awesome Mission Impossible music in the background. There we go. So, Mission Impossible 2, probably a good film for some. I don't like this movie very much. I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. So if you see this at the bottom of my ranking, well, you're about to know why. Mission Impossible 2. Wow. Sorry, I'm just like at a loss. I'm looking at my notes like what to start with this movie. It's so weird. It just doesn't feel like a Mission Impossible movie for me. Alright, let's get into it. So the film opens with an absolutely awesome climbing sequence, which I found a picture of in the DVD thing for Mission Impossible 2. That scene was awesome. It was probably the best part of the movie, the very opening. It was fun. He was climbing around some awesome place in Utah. It was really cool. And it was kind of fun to see Ethan Hunt back at it again, just climbing. And the way that he gets his mission this time is awesome. They shoot a torpedo-looking thing into the ground, and then he goes and gets this, like, camera or something, and then it tells him what to do. I thought that was cool. It was pretty great. So, this movie definitely has the most Scooby-Doo masks. Just a fact. I think that there's probably, like, 9 or 10 Scooby-Doo masks ripped off in this 2-hour movie. I don't know why they have so many, but they do. So, let's just go right in with the stuff that I didn't like. This is going to be long, alright? But let's get started. The awkward zoom-ins and camera angles are back. And they're back a lot. Seriously, there are so many awkward zoom-ins and weird camera angles in this film, it would take so long just to count them all. I'd have to go through, and I'd mark them on a sheet. It would be awful. So, there's a lot of weird things in this movie that happen that are just, and it's all worse because of the score. A lot of people really like the score for this movie. I don't. I don't think it really fits the movie, and even when it does, I just don't think it's that impressive. Towards the second half of the film, the score gets a little bit better, but for the rest of the movie, I was just thinking, this score is so weird, and I looked over at my cousin, I was like, is this score weird? He's like, yeah, the music is really, really weird. And yeah, so the music's weird, and it's just even more with the shots. If you haven't seen Mission Impossible 2, but you've seen the honest trailers for Mission Impossible, they probably talk about this. I legit wrote in my notes while I was watching the movie, I was like writing down things. I wrote down 5 times to talk about the slow-mo used in this movie. There is so much slow-mo. It is unreal how much slow-mo there is in this movie, and there doesn't need to be. I honestly would like the film a lot better if all the action scenes weren't ruined by so much slow-mo. Like, there's a couple good action sequences in there, but 85% of them are way slow. Legit, there is a scene, there is a slow-mo scene, where 2 cars, here, I brought a little something to replicate this. 2 cars, okay? And they smack into each other like this, alright? And then they just start spinning around in slow-mo. And Ethan and the main girl in this movie, they're just like staring at each other for a minute and a half with that weird score behind, slamming in cars, just spinning, go off the side of a mountain. I was like, what am I watching? Is this... I don't know. It was just so weird. The slow-mo everywhere. There are some weird scenes that you don't need slow-mo for, and he just put slow-mo there. I don't know why. But if we can take away anything from this movie, definitely has the coolest DVD cover, so that's something for it. So, a pro that I will give this movie is it a bit easier to understand than the first one. It's a bit easier to follow. Like I said, sometimes even if you're paying attention, you don't know what's going on in the first one. And in this one, it does it a little bit better. You kind of know what's going on, except for you don't care. I didn't really care. Like, that's bad, when you know that you're watching a Mission Impossible movie and you don't care. That's not something I want from these Mission Impossible films. And like I said in my last video, is the ending, it's just like, did you enjoy it? And for this one, it was like, maybe. I really don't know. So, there's a huge use of fire in this movie. If you couldn't tell from this, you open it, there's fire everywhere. There wasn't even that much in the film, but every, like, poster that you see is just fire. But this scene right here, if we're talking about good things, that scene is amazing. And we're going to go right to that. So the last 15-20 minutes of the film, I really enjoy. I think they're great. The mask reveal, where Ethan has taken the main bad guy's henchman and put his mask over him. He shoots him, figures out that that was his friend. That was awesome. I loved it. The whole motorcycle thing, it's fantastic. I think Rogue Nation does it a lot better, but the ending sequence is fairly enjoyable. But there is a scene where two motorcycles, they're both on motorcycles, and they ride, and then they jump off and smack into each other. I don't know what they were going for there, but it wasn't very good. There's so much in this movie that it would just be hard to understand, but there's also this super awkward scene that lasts way too long, where the bad guy just explains everything that Ethan is about to do. He's like, basically, he's gonna pick up a gun, and he's gonna hold it right next to him. He's gonna shoot 5 people, and he's gonna keep doing it. And then he's gonna reload, and he's gonna shoot him again. He's gonna take this pen, he's gonna stab it in that guy's eye, and then he's gonna drop through the ceiling. I was like, what is going on? It's like, just let us see what he's about to do. I don't need this guy to explain it. Speaking of which, the bad guy's not that good. He just comes off as a creep, really, and that's, I don't know. Some of the line delivery for him was just really off, and I feel like the script for him was just written really weird. I don't have much more to say about this movie, guys. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a Mission film. This feels like a Mission Possible film. There's no, like, huge risks here. I don't know. I didn't feel like they were, like, totally fighting against the clock. I mean, they kind of were, but I didn't really care about the characters in this film. I mean, it's hard not to care about Ethan Hunt in a Mission Impossible movie, and Mission Impossible 2 did it for me. Now, they're all enjoyable scenes. Like I said, there's some cool action scenes. There's some good moments. They're just hard to find. I'm going to give Mission Impossible 2 a 5.7 out of 10. My cousin gave it a 6 out of 10. Our scores together got an 11.7 out of 20, being the highest score that you can get, with a 59% overall. So, yeah, we both thought this movie was mediocre. Like I said, poster's really cool, though. I mean, if I had a Mission Impossible poster in my room, it would probably be that one. So, yeah, a lot of slow-mo, a lot of weird shots, some cool shots, some good action, a lot of bad action, a villain that I don't care about, cast that I don't really care about, some good scenes, motorcycle chase is cool, really big use of fire. That's all I have to say. Mission Impossible 2 is okay, and I'm very excited to review Mission Impossible 3. Let's just say that one is... Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time. This is the lowest score I've ever gave in a review. Feeling a little weird about it. I feel like a lot of people are going to be mad. I'll see you next time.